This was a self-designed learning experience where I believe the students came up with their best mode of learning, which is not always what the teacher is expressing to them.
So Senior Phillips and I were talking about his upcoming unit on grammar, and the students were going to be learning about how to use the verb "star." And grammar units, he said, tend to be drier. He wanted to do something a little bit different with his students where they maybe drove the direction of their learning a little bit and almost created their own grammar learning unit. And so he said, I want them to make a tutorial. I want them to be able to choose the media that best suits them as a learner and sort of stick it all together in, a sequence that makes sense to them, with assessments included and everything. And that's when I said, let's use Nearpod.
There were polls in the middle of the Nearpod to see how everybody was doing. There were quizzes. There was an authentic video clip portion.
So, it's a different way to assess students. Rather than testing them using a traditional test or quiz, they're designing these learning tutorials and creating their own questions and engaging activities using Nearpod. And the plan was to then, of course, have the students use the Nearpod in the classroom to attempt to stump their classmates.
I really liked that we got to do it ourselves, and it was a really independent project, and that we got to sort of show our whole classes and sort of be the teacher for this project and teach all of our other classmates about the verb "star."
For me, the really exciting part was when I was visiting the classroom when these projects were finished and watching the kids sort of conduct their Nearpods and letting their classmates log in as students while one student teacher ran the room. And the kids were so engaged and so excited. And they found some really awesome resources, and it was just amazing to see each of these students' individual learning styles sort of shine through. So, you had students that the bulk of their tutorial was diagrams and pictures, and they were clearly more drawn to those visual resources. And then you had other students that were clearly more auditory learning styles, and they had included sound clips and videos and things like that.
So the ones who are the most animated in class, the ones who really can't sit still, can't seem to focus, had the focus when it was time to teach their fellow students something, and they really took pride in it.
Because we used Nearpod, and that was a great way to customize the project and make it more fun than the average PowerPoint.
Nearpod. And I've never actually seen more enthusiasm.
And Senior Phillips was an awesome facilitator in the room while the students conducted their Nearpods, as the student teacher gave and administered questions and mini assessments throughout their tutorial lesson. Senor was there to guide them on how to provide gentle feedback to their classmates and help steer the discussion. It was just a really great project and an awesome way to alternatively assess the students.
They know this verb so inside and out that they taught each other far better than I could ever teach them.